I am the big tank.
On the battlefield of life, nothing's harder than a tank. Yeah, have you ever met a man, heart's full of love, bigger than a
Tank.
tank?
Big tank.
He served in a few wars, he's a veteran that stands for a cause. For the best interviews and news, just keep it glued to the
Tank. I
tank.
am the tank. Big
Big
tank.
Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Tank. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Big Tank Talk. Today, I have the pleasure of bringing back one of the previous guests who was an absolutely fascinating first interview, and I'm happy to have him back. Welcome back, IronManMike.
Thank you for having me.
As before, brother, it's an honor to have you here, and I'm looking forward to continuing where we left off last time. Um, as before, feel free to elaborate on any of your answers as you wish. But I do intend to look into some of the stuff we didn't really get to cover. But like every interview, even though you've been here before, still tell us a little bit about you and how you came to be on Clapper.
All right. First of all, man, look at you. You shaved since last time I was on. So looking good, brother. Looking
I'll
good.
explain that after you tell us a little bit about you and how you came to be here.
Yep, no problem. Okay, so I am a United States Marine Corps veteran. I have a friend that told me about Clapper about a little over 5 years ago. And I had gone to high school with her, and she's a huge MAGA supporter. And there is this new app that came out called Clapper, and I'm like, Clapper, what the hell is that? Clap on, clap on. Anyway, that was the joke. And so we were jumped on there, creating an account, and I'm like, man, it's very political. So I took a pause for about 3 months, and then she's all, hey, you need to get back on, blah blah blah, and finally went back on. I've been on the app. Let's see. This past July was 5 years that it's been created, and it's now 5.5 months old. And I think I jumped on when it was about either November or December, the year it was inception. So I've been on
Right.
Clapper officially, I guess, about 5 years now, and had my account. I was dormant the first few months. So anyway, I'm a United States Marine Corps veteran. I was part of a force reconnaissance unit, and prior to that, I was a combat engineer, explosive ordnance demolition. And yeah, I jumped on Clapper and just took the horn by the bull by the horns, and just immediately met a gentleman by the name of Caleb who had a radio program out of Las Vegas. After a few conversations, him and I discussed and collaborated about me being a guest DJ, which ended up being really cool, and it morphed into me having a Monday through Friday show from 7 to 9 p.m. West Coast time, because I was living in California at the time. And I think I did it for the first year, until someone goes, hey, where can I hear your show? And I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't even think to record them. We were just doing them live shows every day. And so that's when I'm like, oh, I should start recording them. So started recording them. Matter of fact, if you go to my YouTube channel, Mike Ureta, link is in my bio right here. I just uploaded one last week, and if you look on the date, it was from 2021. It was one of the first ones I did. It was Teresa. Um, oh shoot, what was her Dreamcatcher Fitness, and Josh from Central Fit Intelligence. I had interviewed them. That came up on my show, and a few other creators. And yeah, so I just uploaded that podcast, and so that was pretty cool. And my goal is to continue to upload. I have probably about 100 videos, podcast shows that I've done, that out of the archives. I'm starting to upload them, old content, and I'm also creating new content. So As you can see with the hat I have, it's called the IronManMike Show. It's a podcast. I also have merchandise. There's a link again on my channel. You can get hoodies, shirts, sweatshirts, all kinds of really cool merch. Matter of fact, I'm going to have to send you one there, sir, and send you a hat if you
I
want to get one.
appreciate that. I collect hats, so it'd be a welcome addition to my collection.
Yeah,
Now I have to
or a
explain
shirt
to you
either.
why I have to explain to you why the beard is gone.
Okay, go for it.
Um, you you know Gangsta Granny here on Clapper.
Yes,
Her group is the Shaka Crew. Every year they do a fundraiser for Save the Children over in the UK.
yes.
And some of the members of her Shaka Crew do a challenge every year to help raise donations. So I told her if they got more in donations this year than they had last year, I would shave down to the goatee, into just a goatee, and they did well surpass that amount. But during the day of, which was a Saturday the 6th, during that live, one of my friends donated another $50 if I would go and shave the goatee off as well. So I went ahead and did that. Um,
Oh, nice.
Definitely, I am definitely growing the beard back. Even though I look younger without it, I agree, and everybody tells me so. I definitely want the beard back, so it'll come back. Um, but it any first of all, children all over the world. There's children all over the world that need our help. So these
Yes,
donations went directly to the charity. It didn't go to anybody in the Shocker Crew. And to me, it was worth getting rid of my beard and taking the months it takes to grow back. If it helped and encourage people to donate to such a worthy charity. So that's why I did it.
fantastic. Well, you look good, sir. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Looks like it was for a great cause, and that's awesome. Yep,
And to
looking
comment
good.
on Mike's statement, a shout out for the Navy taking out the Army in the Army Navy game, 17-16.
There you go.
All
There you
right.
go.
I want to touch a little bit on fitness. You brought it up in our previous interview. I know getting and staying fit was a big thing for you. Um, so my question is for those that want to become fit and stay fit, as somebody who is and has been physically fit for a while, what advice would you give someone that person?
Well, that's a great question. Let me answer it by this. A lot of you know that I had torn my rotator cuff March 24th of this year, and I finally had surgery September 9th of this year. Unfortunately, 4 days after, my bicep tendon anchored tore loose. It ruptured. I'm going to have to get a second surgery. I've not been able to work out for almost a year. It's been like 10, 11 months or whatever it's been now. And I'm still fit because I've been working out my whole life and staying fit. Even though I'm starting to get soft, I'm still relatively, my muscles are, no muscle atrophy yet, but a year of not working out and I'm still getting compliments. And that's, please don't get me wrong, I'm not bragging. I'm proving a point that a body in motion stays in motion. Someone who's fit, eats right, healthy, even though I'm injured right now and I can't work out because my bicep had dropped about an inch and it's currently my bicep tendon is loose in my arm, detached. It's no
Oh,
longer anchored. I seen the x-rays. It's just it tore and just slipped down from when I tore it. And originally I was trying to do something and it just tore. I had coughed, like a cough sneeze, and
yep.
it made a loud popping sound like just like that. And I looked and I'm like, what the heck is that? So, hey, thank you so much. Bet you, you're awesome. Bet you I am BK.
Bet you I am back. That's Becky.
Oh,
She's
Becky.
a really phenomenal person. She is educating us on the daily about autism. She is an
Oh,
adult diagnosed with autism, so she knows a bit about it.
well, definitely
And
gonna
she is
follow her
always
back.
educating us.
Oh, I'm already
Uh,
following her. Oh, I know her. Wait a minute. I didn't recognize the name there. Anyway, I want to say thank you so much for the lovely gift. Thank you so much. So my bicep is torn. So my surgeon says he has to do a second surgery. He's going to open me up. He's going to reach in. He said he's going to grab my bicep tendon at the end of my bicep and anatomically pull it back up to where my bicep should be. It's dropped almost 2 inches. So they're going to literally go in and pull my bicep up, and then grab the end of the bicep tendon and pull it back and re-anchor it below the two anchor. There's two anchors in my 1 and 2. They're going to re-anchor it below it and then stitch underneath that, and hopefully it'll be back to where I can, use it. He says after 4 months I'll be able to work out. I'm thinking, I had my left shoulder labrum repair, and it took me 2 years before I can even work out. Crazy. I couldn't work out any weights or anything. I was doing physical therapy for 2 years. So yeah, we'll see how long it's going to take me. But back to your original question, I just started training for another Ironman race. I made a commitment. It takes a full year to train for an Ironman race. If you out there who are listening who doesn't work out is listening to what I just said, oh, it takes a year of training. All right, I'll start training right now. Chances are you probably won't complete one, but you really have to be training daily. I'm talking about, hey, American Wake, welcome in. I'm talking about you have to already be in shape to get to the level of doing an Ironman race. Again, I'm not bragging. I'm just proving a point. I've been working out my whole life. I was a wrestler. I was a college wrestler, collegiate college football. I played for San Jose. I was the second smallest dude on the team, but I was the second fastest. I can sprint. I wrestled, so I was able to tackle the guys, hold on to them, and then the rest of the team would come over and just help, take down a 300 pound dude. And I was only 150 pounds at the time. So I wasn't very, maybe 163. But yeah, you just have to be fit, stay fit, eat healthy. My grandfather told me years ago, a couple funny things health wise: floss only the teeth you want to keep, and work out and stay fit, because your legs are the largest muscle in your body along with your glutes, your butt muscles. And you hear about a lot of older people falling all the time. I don't know how old you all are out there, but listen to this. If you stay, thank you, Truth. If you stay fit and if you always do squats and you always keep your legs strength with little squats here and there, work up to it. Go on YouTube. You can see how to do the exercises, or reach out to me. I can discuss it with you. Listen here. You don't want to be that old person that's always falling, that you always hear about, that's getting hurt because their leg muscles are so weak they can't hold their body up. So I'm going to encourage you out there, even though you got hurt ankles, hurt legs, hurt knees, hurt hips. Trust me, your muscles are your muscles, and you still need to do some form of exercises and stretching on a weekly, if not daily basis. Talk to your and consult with your doctor first. That's my opinion. That's what I've been doing my whole life, and it hasn't failed me. So that's where we're at.
right on. I get it. And I've taken a few falls in the last couple of years, um, kind of associated with having the stroke I had a couple of 3 years, 3.5, 4 years back. Um, so you're obviously very fit. Oh, when did you decide to become a triathlete? And what is a
Oh,
triathlete?
that's a great question. Before I answer it, I got Truth in the comments here saying, I do butt exercises with a little look. Yes, you could do some hold on to a chair, a couch, a counter, and slowly, little by little, slowly lower your knee down to the ground, one at a time, and then switch sides. Lunge forward, lunge backwards. There's YouTube videos that teaches you how to do all these exercises, or reach out to me and I'll be glad to share them with you. Um,
Also, if I could jump in, truth, having a finger inserted is not considered butt exercises. Just saying.
we can lube it. I'll lube it for you there, Truth. All right, now I already forgot the question. Say it again. Truth, you threw me
I,
off my game, buddy.
I'm acknowledging you as a triathlete
Oh, that's right.
because I know you. So I asked you like what's involved in becoming a triathlete and what is triathlon so people know.
So my first couple of triathlons I ever did, I've got some awards right up here. I'm talking about when I was in junior high school. I've got some ribbons up here.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go get them down, but those are some of my first ribbons I ever earned, not participated in like you get today. But yeah, I've been doing, I discovered I was a long distance runner when I got into, hey, welcome in, Lori. When I was in junior high school, when we used to have to run track for PE in middle school. And after the first month, one of the coaches came up to me and said, hey, I noticed that you run a lot of laps because they used to mark us to see how many laps we can get like once a week. Like we do different activities during the week, but on Friday, we'd all have to run to see how many laps we can do within a certain time limit. And I always won. I always got the most. And then there was this other kid that tried to beat me. One week he did beat me, and I'm like, bullshit, that's not happening again. Then it was game on. So it was him and I neck and neck every Friday. And I think they eventually changed it. I forgot when it kicked in, but I remembered it was like every PE class we did something, but then the last 30 minutes or 20 minutes, they let us do laps. And it was him and I. Anyway, we got to the end of the semester or towards the end of the semester, and it turned into a 50 miler. And next, you know, it turned into a 100 miler, and I won. At the end of the semester, I had over 100 miles. I forgot the total amount. And um, that's when I realized, oh, I've got endurance. And then they're like, hey, you want to get on the cross country team? I'm like, nah, that's boring. That's why I didn't do it. But it morphed me into I dated a gal whose parents were cross country people. And I remember one weekend I was invited to go run a race with them. And I'm like, all right. I showed up with like not even running shoes and just booty shorts that the 80s shorts that we wore back in the day. So no running clothes. I didn't even own running gear. And I ended up winning my division, my age group. I took first place. And they're like, "Oh
right.
my god." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know." So that was it. I think I was 12 or 13. No, wait, hold on. I was dating a girl. I think it was I don't think I was in high school. I was still in I think I was 8th or ninth grade. Anyway, I was young. 14, 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood. That's when I started it. And then when I ended up winning that, I thought, "Oh my god, that was pretty cool." So I just little by little started hearing about these and started entering them, and I always did really well with these, and it just morphed into I've just been doing them since I was a kid. So last 40 years
Right on.
because I'm now 59.
Now, when you're training for a specific uh, triathlon, do you have a specific diet that you eat while you're training?
Oh, that's a great question. Hey, listen, anybody who out there is looking to get into the sport, remember this, whatever effort, whatever you do, whatever you wear in practice is what you want to do in the exact same real run. Because if you change your shoes, your clothing, or your diet, what's going to happen is you're going to have a stomach issue, you're going to have a energy issue, you're going to have a chafing issue with your, if you wear something different for like different underwear one day during that race, you're going to get chafed. If you don't use gel, if it's a really long endurance race, you're going to get blistering and redness and bleeding possibly by your legs running back and forth, for example, in the crotch area. When you're cycling, you're running, or if you put new shoes on for the first time for a new race, you got to break them in. So however you train is how you're going to do in your race. So never change up and do something different the day of something important because you're going to fuck yourself and screw yourself.
Understood. Um,
Yes, Mike, in your dreams does count.
yeah, the way I would put what you just described, and I used to when I coached baseball, I would tell my team that you practice like you play,
Yep. Um,
and that's how I would describe what you just put into words. You know, if you practice something, but when it comes to the actual event, you're doing it different, your results are going to be different too.
exactly. And you want to make sure you drink and hydrate yourself with lots of H2O water, just like I'm drinking here.
Now, we transition here. I know you travel for work. Were you still involved in triathlons even while you were working? While you've been working?
Yes, there's something called Spartan races. Matter of fact, I have a whole bunch of medals right here. Spartan races right here.
Right on.
I have Spartan race medals. I have Marine Corps full marathon, half marathon medals hanging right here.
Very nice.
So yeah, I still participate in those, and it's something I do for fun. And here's a fun fact: I was running an Ironman race one time, and I'm like running it and thinking, why am I doing this? No one told me to do it. I don't have. I could stop right now, and no one's gonna care. But you know what keeps you going is, your mind sets in. It's that mental health thing. It's any little ache, pain. It's called pushing through it. But it's not just for the medal. It's not just for the glory of saying I did it. It's keeping your body healthy. It's knowing that the human body is so amazing. Anyone out there, unless you have some major medical issue, but the body is just so resilient. I mean, we're so pliable. We're so I mean, we can get through anything. Now, your mind might not make it. You'll try and talk yourself out of doing something every mile, but realistically, you can. It's mind over matter. You can get through anything you set your mind to.
I have to agree, but from a different perspective. I've had two heart attacks and a stroke in the last 8 years. Um, and I find myself in better health now than I've been since I was in my late 30s. So to me, that just illustrates what you just said. Um, I could have just, after any of those major cardiac events, I could have just gave up, let myself deteriorate and pass on, but I haven't. Um, and what you said is true. The human body is an amazing machine. It's an amazing thing. Uh, we
Yep,
really should take care of it the best we can so that it continues to be that amazing machine for us.
absolutely, absolutely. You
Now,
definitely want to take care of your body, everyone. And you might get excited and like, okay, that's it. But you want to know the hardest thing about working out and about setting a goal to do something. I'll tell you the hardest step. And when I trained for an Ironman race, I remember my first one I started training for. I was getting up at 2:30 in the morning. I was at the gym by 2:50, and I was clothed and out on the floor starting to do my stretches and my routine. And in a week, I had different routines. So by 3 a.m., I was working out. By 4 a.m., I switched from the stretching and the heavy lifting to it depends on what I was doing that day. If I was swimming, I was jumping in a pool and I was swimming for like an hour or two. And then the goal was to beat the clock, swimming laps back and forth. And then I learned something called transitions, transitioning from swimming to cycling or swimming to running within minutes, within seconds of getting out of the pool. Or I would switch it up and cycle for an hour or two straight and doing hammers. Hammers is when you're up in the seat, you're standing and you're just hammering it back and forth, and then you sit down and you keep the tension on the cycling, like if you're doing the stationary bike, and then
Right.
you do that, and then you jump in and you jump in the pool. Even though an Ironman race is swim, bike, and run, sometimes if you mix up those three, you want to shock your body. You ever hear the expression people who hit a plateau?
Yep.
When you hit a plateau, it's because you're doing the same routine every single time you work out. Your body knows you're going to go do curls. A lot of guys like to work on their arms. They're going to do, oh, I'm going to do, X amount of curls, X amount of weight. And then I'm going to do 3 sets of this. And then I increase it. Your body remembers that you start at this weight and you end at that weight. And then you jump to chest or flies or traps or whatever you do. You got to mix it up. You got to shock your body. Arnold Schwarzenegger wrote this book, a couple books, but the one book specifically I'm talking about is when he's up on top of a mountaintop and he's posing, and it's an iconic book. And I used to own this book, and I stupidly gave it away one time when I was moving. I don't know, I was in my 30s or something like that, and I was moving. I still wish I had that book, and I've seen that book, and I should have grabbed it. But anyway, my point is, I read the whole book, and in his book, he just talked about this stuff, and I've religiously been living that because I mean, he's Mr. Olympia, what, 12 times? I'd have to Google
Something
it,
like
but
that.
I mean, you got to listen to someone who's proven it to be true. And so that's what I had done. I wasn't looking to be Mr. Olympia, but I liked doing endurance sports, but I also like to make sure that I mixed it up. It's called shocking your body. Google it. You'll see what I'm talking about. Or Arnold Schwarzenegger coined it. And why reinvent the wheel? Duplicate what is working. And that's what I was doing. But mix up your workouts.
Paul wants to know what's the quickest time you ever finished an Ironman event in?
Oh, geez. I've done 3, 2 halves and 1 full, and I was just training for my next one. So I don't have anything to market to other than practice. But practice, I've actually done faster Ironman practices than I did the real thing. I think it's that mental, because in practice, even though you're hustling, um, it's your transitions. I think the last one I did, I had someone fall in front of me and I jumped it over them and I rolled my ankle.
Ouch.
So my time was shorter on the actual race because also during practice, 3 weeks before I did my Ironman race, the full one, I tore my tore my labrum, and I didn't have surgery yet, but I did oh, listen to this. You're not gonna believe this one, but this is true. I ended up tearing my labrum, but at the time I didn't know it was torn. I just know it hurt. And my race was right around the corner. And so I ended up doing the swimming because I couldn't do overhand like this. I couldn't
Right.
overhand. I did the side stroke the entire race
Wow.
and doggy paddle. I couldn't do overhand. So my swim time, usually it's a lot faster, was a lot slower, but I finished it. So that was
Right on.
very, very difficult. Hey, Ronnie, welcome in.
Mike Mike McGifford asked, isn't 2/3 of an Ironman race legs?
Say again.
Mike McGifford says, isn't 2/3 of an Ironman race legs?
Well, there's swimming. That's 2.4 mile swim. And then you jump on a bicycle and it's a 112 mile bike ride. And then you get off your bike and you run a full 26.2 miles. So, I mean, you're using your legs for all of it.
Right. Welcome in, Ronan. Good to see you, brother.
Yep. Difficult. Yes. Side
I,
swimming
I,
is
wa-
definitely difficult, but hey, I got it done.
I want to ask some questions about your job, but before I get into that, can you tell us how you got involved with Ansel Brown?
Yes, those of you that were here at the beginning, Ansel Brown was just here in my podcast studio here. Him and I were collaborating on another project coming up. And Ansel and I, when I moved to North Carolina, him and I met at a veterans organization group called Richard's Coffee Shop, downtown Mooresville, North Carolina. Every Thursday and Saturday, they have meetings, and I was going to those and met him at one of those. He said something about he was in music, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Didn't really know who he was, didn't really research him. Just he was just another guy I met, new friend. And over the course of the year, we became really close. And one day we were having a conversation. He was saying, oh, something about like he's trying to do a comeback. He's been writing some music. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's really cool. And during the conversation, I had shared with him, I'm like, oh, yeah, I used to manage a woman, a young lady who I'm not going to name at the moment, but I was her manager like 15 years ago. And she did some really nice stuff. I helped her on the West Coast. We got her a multi state tour, 13 shows, different locations. And I had shared this with Ansel, and he's like, oh, really? And like, 2 weeks later, he came up to me and goes, hey, I would like you to be my manager. And I'm like, what? Manager what? And then he had to tell me, and I'm like, oh, well, I knew you said you sung, but I didn't realize that. So he's a national recording artist. He's got a song has come out this year. He's got two songs that have come out. The first one came out, let's see, it was May of this year, May 10th,
Right.
and right before I went to China, if you guys remember that, because I went to China. No, I went to China on the 10th, and it came out on the I think it was the same day now that I think no, I went to China on the 12th. It was the day after we did a huge concert for him. Anyway, yeah, so we signed a 1-year contract and that expired in November. And I just told him, I go, hey, I'm so slammed with my other job. I'm going to have to help you limited, for now. And so we kind of slowed down a little bit just because man, I was burning the candle at both ends. I just didn't have enough time. But so I'm helping him. I'm now the director of operations for him, part time, just staying involved, helping him out. And we've got some collaboration, some lives and concerts coming up this year. So we've been working on those.
Right on. Before I ask another question with that, Mike McGifford wants to know if you were enlisted or officer in the Marine Corps.
I was a corporal in the United States Marine Corps, which is an E4. Right before I got out, they offered me my E5 sergeant, which I declined.
Right on. While you were as manager, what did you find most challenging?
With Ansel Brown,
Yeah, about being a manager for Ansel Brown.
the honestly, the most challenging thing was time because those of you that know who I am know that I travel 95% of the year. I travel internationally, China, Vietnam, Canada. I'm at all 50 states. I'm a product safety engineer and investigator, and I'm the OSHA safety compliance officer for North America. And it's definitely I wear three different hats, and then with Ansel, that was a fourth hat. So I was just slammed. Just didn't have enough time in the day to do everything I needed to do, and it wasn't fair to him that I wasn't able to help do what I needed to do for him because I'd get an assignment, and next thing you know, I'm in freaking Qatar, Doha, Vietnam, Canada, or wherever, and I just wasn't available.
Right. So how did you find the job that you have that allows you to travel so much?
They actually reached out to me. Hey, those of you that know what LinkedIn is, it's an online resume, and pay the extra money to get the recruiters to find you. Make sure you fill out your online presence. It's LinkedIn. LinkedIn, you can follow me. I'm under Michael Ureta if you want to network with me. and you want to check out mine as an example, but they found me on LinkedIn. I've been found on LinkedIn with my last four roles. The federal government contract reached out to me through there. But yeah, if you have decent credentials and background, you will get reached out to, and that's what happened with me.
Okay. Now you've been doing this job a while. What are some of your favorite places they've had you travel to?
Let's see. I did enjoy going to China and Vietnam, even though it's kind of a crazy place and I was nervous to go. Flew into Shanghai and ended up going to Zhangzhou. That's where the corporate office was at. And I did get a chance to go explore and see some of the cool areas. And interesting thing, what I've noticed about having the pleasure to tour the world and travel, it's just like any other place. Dirt's dirt,
Yeah.
except the desert is the desert. Just like in the United States, we have the most diverse area, but it's kind of cool because I look at the plants, I look at the terrain, I look at the hills. There's places in China. If I had closed my eyes, I could have swore I was in my backyard somewhere.
Yeah, I understand that. I've been in a few places, not as many as you, but I've traveled to enough places to understand exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, I was.
Mike McGifford asked, have some of the safety measures in place overseas managed to surprise you?
Yes, but it doesn't surprise me because like when I was in Vietnam, I would see their military police walk around with machine guns, AK, whatever they have, whatever weapons, and I'm like, it's we have it here too. They just have a different color, a different type of uniform, and they're different culture.
Right.
So what I have noticed, which is a big thing, is the smell. We have sewer plants. A lot of countries do not. There's trenches and there's side of the road. It's like, what's that foul smell? It smells like shit. Sure
Well,
enough, man, you see people on the side of the road pulling over and just going to the bathroom.
another example, when I went to Alexandria, Egypt, they pump their raw sewage into the beach. Same water that the families go out and play in, and they pump their raw sewage into it, and you can smell it for miles offshore.
Yeah, pretty
It's
gross.
it's pretty gross. Yeah. When you travel for these jobs, do you ever get time just to play tourist?
On occasion, I try to make sure any place I go to that I'm not milking the clock for my company. I try to make sure my company tells me this. I report to the VP of the company, and then he reports obviously to the president of the company. So I'm like one step up from the president with my role. And he says, "You do what is sounds right." Like if I'm in California and I finish on a Thursday or a Wednesday in the middle of the week, and I have to be somewhere on Monday, well, I still have to do report writing. But if I jump on a plane, I'm flying all day Thursday, flying back to the East Coast, and then so I
Right.
burn a full day, and then on Friday, sometimes I got 2 days of reports writing. Sometimes they just say stay in a hotel and then just fly on Monday or fly over the weekend to go to Texas or to Southern California or to Oregon since I'm already on the West Coast, or to Reno or to Canada. If I'm on the West Coast, it makes sense to stay there. It's cheaper to stay there versus flying all the way across America, another $1,000 ticket there and back, another $1,000 versus just staying there for a few nights in a hotel, which is maybe $300-400 plus food.
Right.
It's still cheaper to stay there versus flying all the way back home, plus all my food expenses, just to turn around and go back. And then I burn up all my time, and I still got to do expenses or do a report or do something. So yeah, they just tell me to uh, keep it simple and just whatever makes sense. financially
Thanks.
be responsible for the company.
Absolutely understand that. Mike wants to know, is the U.S. the safest country for OSHA standards, or are there safer countries out there than ours?
Hell no. California is the safest. Now, the safest states, it really depends on the individual because a lot of rural areas, doesn't matter what state you're in, a lot of rural areas, you get guys, it doesn't matter what state or country you're in, they just don't give a fuck or they don't know because they weren't
Right.
trained. And
And
usually
I'm
it's
sure
just some
I'm
dude
sure
that
you see
just
a lot of
doesn't
that too.
give a rat's ass and he just does it anyway.
I'm sure you see a lot of that poorly trained or untrained people.
Yep. I always taste the local food. I always keep my options open. I'm always willing to explore and taste uh, different and new foods. And I've been blessed to have done that and have had some amazing, wonderful food.
Part of Paul's question, because I know you read it, is what is some of the best and worst that you've had?
Hmm. I don't know if I had any worse. I mean, I've had delicious food later. I regretted it because I couldn't leave the restroom for about 2 days. That's happened. I think it's from the water. I think when I went to China, yeah, I think for 3 days, man, I was just unleashing a demon in me. Yeah, that
Understood.
wasn't fun.
So, in your travels for your job, what are some of the least favorite places you've been to?
Hmm. Honestly, the least favorite places I've gone to is when I get to a um someone who's not being cooperative and I it forces me to have to bring my gun with me because I could tell something about them is off, and I need to make sure I have something with me to protect myself. So I've unfortunately had to go to a couple places. One of them was in Texas, and I had to bring my weapon with me to make sure that I was safe.
Understandable. Let me ask you this. Since you've been doing this job for a while and you've traveled so much, does home mean more to you now than it did before you started traveling all the time for work?
Say that again.
Because you travel so much, you spend so little time actually at home. Does home mean more to you now than it did before you started traveling so much?
Oh man, those of you who've been following my recent videos, which I know Tank you have, I've been working on some home projects. Matter of fact, a trench just got finished. Installing a hot tub. Matter of fact, I just purchased the wire for it today. I have an inspector coming over tomorrow to inspect the trench, and then I'm going to try and between now and Monday before they show up, I'm going to try and lay the pipe in the trench 2-inch 40 scheduled PVC conduit. And then I have to run the electrical in it. And then I need to connect it, breakers, disconnect. So I got a little bit of work ahead of me. But I've also installed ring cameras, doorbell, locks that are internet protected with push keys, internet activated through I can unlock and lock them through the internet while I'm not at home. I can, help someone get in or unlock it for someone while I'm not there. I've installed new motion sensor lights front and back. Again, cameras in and out and throughout around my property. French drains that are going in. I've done my gutter guards. I've done what else have I done? Sanded a deck and stained it, and yeah, so I've just had a blast trying to get some projects done around the house. Plus, I'm hanging out with family who live nearby, so that's been fun.
Absolutely. Mike wants to know if you've done any marathons or similar events overseas.
I've done a marathon. I'm trying to remember where I did that at. Let's see. I've done the Honolulu Marathon about 3 or 4 times. I've done the Marine Corps Marathon. I think 4 times, 5 times. I've done the half marathon once or twice. Yeah, Okinawa, Japan. I did the half marathon.
Right on.
Yep.
Excuse me. Let me ask you this job that has you traveling so much, how has it impacted your relationships with friends and family?
It has strengthened it. Oh my God. I've been to California. This year alone, I've been to California at least almost a dozen times because I have a bunch of family there. And I actually seen my family in California more than I saw them when I used to live, like 30 miles away from them. It was hilarious. Yeah, I was just like, "Oh, we don't have time." But, now that I travel, I'm staying with them at their house
Right.
and plus the other cool thing is I'm able to meet people when I fly around the world. I've met new people. Plus here on Clapper, I've met over 100 people here on Clapper. So a lot of you that are on here, I've already met you in person, quite a few of you, and yeah, so that's been a huge plus. So that's
Okay.
been a
Becky
very
Becky wants to know
blessing.
what's your biggest future goal or dream?
What's my biggest goal or dreams?
Yeah, for the future.
Well, let's see. There's a few more places on my bucket list that I'd like to get to. I want to get to Spain and the UK and come visit some of you there. That's been one thing that I've been looking forward to doing, and just collaborating with others. I've been working on my podcast. Those of you that um, already subscribed to my podcast, I appreciate it. If you haven't, hit my bio here, and you can go to my YouTube channel and subscribe to my podcast. That'd be great. Matter of fact, I need to have you on my podcast, and we need to do a show
And
sometime in the future. I need to interview you, sir.
I'm certainly willing and just let me know when.
Yeah,
And
we'll just have we just need to make it happen.
yes, sir.
Yep. We'll
Mike
set a
wants to know, do you
date.
ever sounds good. Mike wants to know, do you ever do extreme sporting events, especially considering your career and safety?
Well, interesting that you said that. If you go to MikeUreta.com, that's the theme of my website, extreme sports, fitness, and nutrition. Mike, MikeUreta.com. Check out my website. It's not done. I'm still working on it. I'm having GoDaddy do some things to it currently, but check out my website. Check out my YouTube channel. Subscribe, and yeah. So I do extreme sports. I actually used to have a sport fitness channel on Facebook, but unfortunately, I got hacked into it and I lost that a while ago.
Right
But
on.
yeah, so I do extreme sports, Spartan races. I'm big into Spartan races.
So Paul wants to know if there have you had any problems with the language barriers while traveling around the world?
No, because there's this app called Translate, and you just put in whatever country or language they speak, and I say it, and you put the phone in their face, and they speak, and we're able to translate, talk back and forth. So that's something I've learned that works out really well.
One more question regarding your job, and then I have just a couple of random questions I want to ask before the interview ends.
Sure.
Um, Job related, what's the worst experience you've ever had while traveling for work?
Oh my gosh. So I have a $20,000 limit on my credit card, company card, and I maxed it out. And I was in Seattle 2 years ago, and my card got shut off. And I was in my rental car going through the gate to leave the airport, and the card it declined, and I had to use my personal card. So now my company owes me about 6 grand that I'm freaking having to jump through hoops to get my money, and it's cost me money each month. So I might have to take them to court over that, fuckers.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, that
Mike says New Zealand has mountain biking, bungee jumping, and whitewater power boating. Have you ever been there?
I have not been to New Zealand. Nope. But I've done mountain biking. I refuse to go bungee jumping because I do skydiving, which is so much more fun. I'm a parachute rigger, so I pack my own parachute. White River boating, I've done that. I've done White River rafting. I've done all that, and that is such a blast. Plus, I've done rappelling. I've done fast roping. I've done a lot of fast roping with the Marine Corps. I've done a lot of cool shit with the Marine Corps. I was part of a force reconnaissance unit, and that was amazing.
Absolutely. Welcome
Uh,
in, Karen. It's Rockin' Horse and
hey,
Grace
Rockin'
Wright.
Horse.
Grace
Hi,
H. Wright.
Grace.
So good to
Hi,
see you,
everybody.
Grace. Before I ask you the couple of random questions, Mike, typically at this point, I tell everyone who my guest is the following Sunday. Next Sunday is the Sunday before Christmas, and I will not be doing an interview next Sunday. I'm just going to take the day, enjoy being with Tabby and Lizzie, and uh, maybe watch a little football. But I won't be doing an interview next Sunday. I will put a video out next week, however, uh, or following that Sunday, letting everyone know who my guest will be on the 28th, which I can't give you now because I don't know who that's going to be just yet. Now, a couple of the random questions. What first one, because it's real prevalent these days. What are your thoughts on AI, artificial intelligence?
That's a great question. My thoughts on AI, I'm all for it because my future son-in-law, he is building a company called Variant.ai. And I think I shared that with you last time. He is a MIT graduate. By the way, I just put my Mikey Retta website in the chat. He's building an AI um, brains for the brains. And it's amazing. If you guys, anybody that's into AI and building software for companies, he's the brains for the brains, if that makes sense. He's creating software for software AI developers,
So,
and he's doing an amazing job.
if he's an MIT graduate, that means he's pretty intelligent
He
as
is
well. So,
smart. Um, I just put the name of his company in the chat, Variant.ai. And he's about to launch. He's doing an update right now. It's a new company. It hasn't really fully launched. They've done a soft opening, but it's really behind the scenes right now. But Variant.ai is amazing. So,
outstanding. Um, this is the question I've been wanting to ask you. I'm glad to finally get to it and hear your answer. I said before, you're a man of many parts. How do you balance it all?
that's a great question. How do I balance it all? Well, like right now, during this interview, I'm like, while we're talking, I'm throwing in these websites, YouTube, and you just got to keep going. I do take a moment to, if you notice I don't post anything for a day or two or a week, it's like I took a break. Sometimes you just got to disconnect yourself and get with nature. And when you guys see me disconnect and don't see me for a day or two, I'm with family. I'm doing something I love to do. I'm training. I'm traveling. I'm doing something. When I was in China, I wasn't on the app for a month. That's why
Right.
I lost like 40,000 followers. Probably all AI. But if you go dormant on this app and don't do anything, you're going to lose your I didn't lose my blue status checkbox, so that was good. But I lost 40,000 followers. And right now I'm back up to 80. So I was down to 30. So yeah, actually it was closer to 50. Yeah, I lost a lot. But it's taken me that was in May. So in June I had 40,000 less followers. So July, August, September, October, November, December. It's taken me 6 months to get back to almost where I was at. I think I was at 83,000 or 84,000.
Right.
But yeah, I lost like 40,000 followers. It
That's
sucked.
that's crazy, Mike. Um,
So I would right now be at I would be at 230,000 right now, but currently I'm only at 180, 181.
understood, brother. Um, this is another question I've been looking forward to hearing your answer to. How do you, when you have conflicts, how do you resolve it to the best satisfaction?
I have a great answer and a great question. Thanks for asking this. Okay, listen to this. So okay, listen. There's always going to be conflict. There's always going to be drama. There's always going to be mayhem. There's always going to be emotions involved. If you're on here listening, you're here for a reason. You're meant to be here to listen to me say this right now, and I'm glad I'm about to share some knowledge with you. Listen up, folks. There's a book called Emotional Intelligence. I highly encourage you to read it. It talks about how humans communicate, different types of people, how they communicate. There's people who use emotions. Those are the people you want to steer clear away from. You're not able to reason with those people. They're like the Terminator. They're toxic. They're people who did not learn how to properly communicate maturely, rationally, and they feed off emotions. If you deal with someone who's dealing with emotions, you're fucked. You need to separate yourself, distance yourself from people who are negative, toxic, and who use emotions. Now, if you are that person and if you are honestly interested in how to understand and process what I'm trying to explain to you, there's a lot of online books there's that you can order, you can read, and you can just there's so many opportunities for you to learn how to be a better communicator to other humans. By understanding how to properly communicate is a huge plus. I highly recognize and suggest that you get yourself some knowledge and learn how to do proper communications. So, to answer your question, facts. Facts are a big part of my life. I do investigations for a living. I can't go on feely and how my feelings are about something. No, it doesn't matter. It's facts. You know, am I wearing a blue shirt or is this black? It's like, what is it? You might be colorblind and you might see gray. I mean, but the facts are the facts. So I live off of facts. I collect data and I hand it to the attorney that I work with, and then I let them argue it out in court. You have to go by facts. He said, she said, drama. I don't care. I distance myself from that. A lot of you probably know that I used to do lives like daily. I have not been doing lives. I've been doing maybe one a month for the last year or so. Matter of fact, I think I may have gone like 8 months without even doing one. I just got tired of the drama, got tired of going to other people's lives, trying to be a team builder, try to meet new people. You go into a live and you're like, oh, it's a blue check. And they eject me out of a room just because I had a blue check. And it's like, seriously, people abuse the tools on this app, and it's unfortunate. So that's just one of the things that I just got tired of. I trust this man right here. I go into his lives and maybe one other person's live, but that's it. I stop going into other people's lives, or I'll just do my own. I'm done with the drama. Matter of fact,
Okay.
someone who I considered a friend recently just blocked me, and I'm like, really? I haven't even been going to anybody's lives and I'm still getting blocked by people. I'm like, fucking grow up, people. Grow a pair of balls, get your priorities straight. And, I'm all about supporting military. I'm about mental health, PTSD, fitness, nutrition. Um, I try to stay positive. If you like my content, if you like what you've heard today, follow my YouTube channel, support my group. I've got a $1 a month if you'd like to enter it, and I discuss and I'll have conversations with you about various topics, how to grow your account. If you want to get into podcasting, I'll talk to you about that. If you want to know one-on-one information about nutrition, health, if you're having some issues or challenges, I think I have some pretty good knowledge on a lot of different areas, relationship status and so forth. I've been married, and I've got 4 kids, six total if you include my stepdaughters. So yeah, so I've got a lot of life experience. So that's where I'm at with that.
All right, Mike. That's pretty good on the questions. There's still a couple I didn't get to, but I'll always be able to. I'll always have questions for you. We'll always be able to talk. So that's not an issue. At this point, as you know, we did the same thing last interview. this is your opportunity for a shout out.
Absolutely. And I kind of been saying it earlier, but hey, check out on my profile right here. I've got a store, a merchandise store. If you want to go buy some Iron Man Mike merchandise, I've got hoodies, sweats, all kinds of merchandise. I got some cool coffee cups where you can get some personalized logos and photos on the side, all kinds of really neat things on there. Plus, I have the MikeUreta.com I put in the chat earlier and also on YouTube. Follow me, Mike Ureta, and I'd love to have you as a new subscriber. And everyone that's in here, make sure you take care of the moderators and Big Tank here. Make sure you're following Big Tank. I greatly appreciate. Much love. We've been good friends for almost 5 years now, and
Yeah.
much love. And I appreciate you. And I hope you all have a blessed and happy Merry Christmas and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. I also want to shout out uh, Paul, my screen recorder. He makes it possible for me to do this every week and then post it on Wednesday for my YouTube channel, which I would ask you guys to subscribe to if you haven't. The link for that is in my bio. I also want to thank the other moderators that I have. They help keep the chat clean. They they make sure the questions get penned, so I don't have to worry about that. They do it for me, and then give me the opportunity to write them down like I do.
All right, and
And
I'm
having
following a
said
bunch of
that,
you back right now, so I don't follow a lot of people unless I meet them usually in person, but there's been some very generous people that have been gifting me, so I think I followed you back already. I do appreciate that, and like Tank said, follow both of our channels if you'd like to join our groups. We greatly appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come listen to
absolutely,
both Tank and I, and for the last hour. So we greatly appreciate you from the bottom of our hearts and love you and Merry Christmas, everyone.
Mike. It's been an honor and a privilege, my friend. I look forward to our next conversation, and we definitely need to nail down my visit to your podcast.
Absolutely. We'll have to talk offline and we'll put a date and time together. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It was, I think, a second or third time, right?
Yeah, it's been an absolute honor, trust me.
Yeah,
And with that, guys, have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and enjoy the holidays. I'll see you
a-
guys on Clapper Streets.
absolutely. Thank you so much for the gifts, everyone. Love y'all. Merry Christmas.